Earlier in June, the most prestigious of athletic events in the Oceania area, the Oceania Athletics Championships, took place in Australia. The event was momentous because it scheduled para-athletics competitions at the same time as the main competitions. There were many standout performances, but that of Caytlyn Sharp in the Javelin event was particularly special. We'll be covering that in today's video. First up, Sharp takes home the silver. Caytlyn Sharp is a Terang native, and at just 19 years old, she recently took home a silver medal at the 2022 Oceania Athletics Championships. That's already a huge achievement, but what makes it even better is the fact that she did so under some pretty peculiar circumstances. When Sharp showed up at the venue for her Javelin event, she realized that she'd accidentally left one of her sprinting shoes at home. When you're participating in an event of such caliber, with other athletes that are on the top of their game, you need to make sure you have every advantage you can possibly get. Using the right tool for a job is a given, but not doing so is a serious disadvantage. The missing shoe was definitely a setback then, as Sharp was forced to use her long jump shoes for the event. Though she did end up taking home silver for her throw, she expressed that she was really disappointed with how things turned out. In her own words, Sharp was stressing out about not being properly geared up. She was unable to focus because of her improper attire, claiming that her performance in the event suffered as a result. She qualified that by saying that she's normally thrown much better, and if that performance was brought to the event that day, she would have won. There's no doubt that nerves play a huge part in how athletes perform, as pushing your entire body to exceed at a task requires an intense amount of focus and discipline. Sharp may have taken home silver, but she's probably going to be racking her head over what could have been. Next, Sharp's run at the 100. So Sharp had to go at the Javelin event without her sprinting shoes, which she says threw her off quite a bit. However, when it came to the 100-meter sprint, Sharp was a lot more confident in her performance. That's all thanks to her mother, who quickly went out and purchased Sharp a pair of sprinting shoes for the event, which took place later in the same day as the Javelin. Despite not even running for nationals earlier in the year, or training for the event since then, Sharp was extremely proud of how things turned out in the race. Though she came in at 12th place, she said she felt strong and powerful as she was running. There's some comfort in knowing that what you've achieved is all up to you and nothing else. She showed no signs of second-guessing herself in the event, unlike in the Javelin, and she was perfectly content with her performance here. That's pretty inspiring when you sit with it. The Javelin is where she actually took a podium position, but it's the event she felt most uncomfortable and didn't want to resign herself to simply accepting it. Yet, even when she fell back at 12th place in the 100-meter, she was proud of what she'd achieved. It really is a lesson in self-awareness and pride. Now, Sharp jumps to new heights. The 100-meter wasn't the last event for Sharp, as the following day, she took to the send for her attempts at the long jump event. Even there, Sharp was extremely pleased with her performance. Her longest jump was 4.81 meters, which was a personal best for her, losing out on a bronze medal by just a couple of centimeters. But Sharp didn't beat herself up about it. She was proud of the fact that she was still the top-ranked T20 athlete in both the long jump and the 100-meter sprint. The T20 is a classification for athletes that have autism or other intellectual disabilities. Being at the top of that category is definitely a huge achievement. Sharp was also supposed to participate in the 200-meter race, but unfortunately, her third jump in the long jump event resulted in a twisted ankle that forced her to pull out of that event. The injury also affected her ability in the remaining jumps of the long jump event. Lastly, Sharp and the future. The Oceania Athletics Championships serve as a qualifying event for the Oceania Asia Games, which will be held in Brisbane later in the year. Sharp hopes that her performance at these recent events are enough to get her selected for the Asia Games. If that happens, Sharp is likely going to ramp up her training and preparation for it. Although Sharp has stated that she works part-time at a job which greatly reduces her capacity to train, she hopes that if she gets her shot at the Asia Games, she might be able to move her schedule around so that she only has to work mornings, leaving her evenings open for training. Sharp has a lot of potential to grow as an athlete, and we hope she gets the chance to realize that as the year goes on. Now, time for some other news. Firstly, Guam doubles up on bronze. After just the first 2 days of competition at the Oceania Athletics Championships in Mackay, Guam athletes took over 2 bronze medals to their home country. The first medal was won by Isaac Valdez, who is primarily a mid-distance runner but dabbles in javelin. Surprisingly, his bronze medal was in the javelin event, taken via a throw of 31.08 meters. Though it was just about half the gold medal throw, which sits at 61 meters, the experience sparked a greater interest in the event for Valdez, who now hopes to get into his high school record book for the sport. As for his 1500-meter run, he came out 9th out of 9 runners. The second bronze medal was awarded to Aaliyah Ray Castro for her performance in the under-18 women's 400-meter hurdles event. Overall, it was a great couple of days for Guam, and it's no doubt generated some buzz in the country over track and field sports. Next up, a family that runs together. Stanley Lacapo and his daughter Philomena Leonisa are NMI residents that represented American Samoa in the Oceania Championships. Both competed in their respective 100 and 200-meter sprint events. Philomena participated in the under-18 category as she's currently 16, while her father is age 50 which is almost unheard of in the track and field world. The pair hadn't planned on participating in the championships initially, but later decided it would be an amazing experience to have before the Pacific Mini Games were hosted by the CNMI later in June. In the 100-meter race, Filomena clocked in at 13.22 seconds, while her time in the 200-meter was 27.95 seconds. This was her first time competing internationally, but that didn't faze her. She said that though she was running against powerhouses, she never felt intimidated by them. In fact, she felt like they pushed her to be faster and to better herself to the point that she'd one day be faster than them. When she arrived at the track, she didn't feel anxious or frightened by the experience, just focused, confident, and excited. Both Filomena and her father seemed to cherish the opportunity to race alongside each other. Filomena said that competing with her father is a blessing and that he's the best running partner and coach she could ever have. Stanley, in turn, said that both him and his wife were extremely proud of their daughter, and that they hope that one day she'd become the fastest runner in the Pacific and the record setter for the region. Lastly, Farman takes home gold. CNMI's Oren Farman was truly a highlight of these Oceania Championships this year. The Mariana native not only took home the gold in the high jump event of his age group, but also managed to score a gold medal in the 110-meter hurdles. The former he attained by jumping a height of 1.53 meters, while he got the latter by setting a time of 23.37 seconds. That isn't all though, as the 35-year-old wasn't content with just 2 events. Farman also participated in the Javelin event, the shot put, 60 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters, and 400 meters. He took home silver in all of these save for the Javelin. That's right, he took home not just 2 gold medals, but also 5 silver medals too. And his performance in the Javelin event isn't anything to scoff at either, as he managed a performance that net him a decent bronze medal as well. By the end of such an outstanding performance, Farman said that he felt blessed and grateful for all the medals he'd attained in the CNMI. Considering the fact that he spent hours upon hours straining his body in multiple different events over multiple days, we think that his statement about them being tiring and long days is really undercutting what he's done here. Unfortunately though, his performance didn't count towards points for the CNMI since he participated as a Masters athlete. That's a wrap for this video. What did you think about Sharp's performance in the championships? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.